first started to get into wrestling when I was 16 years old, but at the time I was still in school, so my mum was still a bit kind of. She wasn't as keen on me doing wrestling at the time because I was so young. But then when I got into college, she allowed me to carry it on a bit more. So from there, I was quite young still. I didn't really know what I was doing too much, but I was just kind of learning the basics how it went along. The reason why this match is important to me is because this match now is my last match in Coventry before I graduate. So it's going to be my last match before I leave to go back to London. So it's important that I want to put like a very special match and a good performance on. So that way, and there's going to be promoters at the show as well. So I want to make sure it could be I could be showcased in the best possible way. And also, I want to make sure that this match is, safe and spectacular at the same time. Obviously, I'm nervous as well, but I do know that it's going to be quite a challenging match at the same time. Normally, with wrestlers, I kind of have with wrestlers in general, a lot of wrestlers feel the same way. There's always a bit of a trust issue there. And it's not so much that you don't like the person, just because there's so much responsibility in the wrestling ring as well, because you trust someone with your body at the same time. So this match I'm going in now, I'm trusting a guy who I've known for a long time, and I would consider him a friend, but at the same time you have to remember sometimes people make accidents. So if he accidentally drops me on my neck, or if he accidentally does something to me that might injure me or hurt me during a match, then I might not be able to carry on. But at the same time, you have practice, you have training, so that's why we like to go along and practice as much as we can, and just make sure that communication is important, because you need to make sure you have a good communication with your partner, so that when you work together, it's safe, and that way no one's getting hurt, and you're also entertaining the audience. Plan of the match. This was something that was really nerve-wracking for me for two reasons. The first one was because it was hard to get in touch with the person, with my opponent who I was facing, because he was living in London, so he had to travel up at certain times so we can get in the ring and try different stuff out. Another reason was just before the show, about 10 minutes before we went out, we were going through the match, and we were speculating what kind of moves we want to do and how it is, because we've had this match built up from the start, and we've got these sections that we want to go through, and it was just a matter of going through each of them again, just so we were all clear of what we were doing. So we had to make sure, everyone, we both understood, okay, this is next, and then after this is what's going to happen after, and then the following thing's going to happen after that, and you need to be at this place at this time. You need to make sure you catch me at this time. You have to be there, because if you're not there and I fall to the outside, then there's going to be a problem. If someone forgets one thing, then we might have a situation where there's just an open gap and we don't know what's going on. That's why communication is important. So if something like that happens in wrestling, then you can always say to someone in the ring and talk to them and say, okay, this is what we're going to do next, or what should we do next? And from then on, that's about the communication. It's kind of like when you're pushing the deep end a bit, sometimes it's like you don't know what to do, but you learn how to deal with the situation. So planning the match before we go out, we all say, okay, if this happens, we're going to do this instead. If this happens, tell me. If you're injured, let me know. Right, don't carry on. And then we can tell the referee, and then the referee can tell us, okay, that's fine, you guys will have 2 minutes left if you want to finish off the match, and just leave it like that. So that's also an important factor of the match. The match itself, I was actually really proud of the match. I was really nervous because when the match started, I came up the curtain, and my character had a cameraman there with me, and was saying he's this character, he's a star, he's a movie star, and it was nerve-wracking because a funny story, my intro music wasn't working, so I had to come out to us in silence, and there was nothing more awkward than that. So that was always nerve-wracking, but at the same time, it's situations like that where you learn from it. So if I don't have an entrance music, then I need to make sure I have the voice to use to the crowd. And a problem I had during the match was that the crowd were really silent, because they kind of just sit there and they wait. You have to generate the sound. You have to say, you have to make a connection with them. They don't just stand up and, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But at this time I was thinking, I need to make sure, okay, I need to make this guy talk. I need to, get a reaction from these people. So that happened, and the match was really smooth. We got in the ring. We went from the first spot and we carried on going. I think there was one point where we missed something out, but because we've been wrestling for so long, for about 5 years on and off, we were able to say, okay, we just carried on because we had this great match plan and we remembered each point. I think at the point as well, at some point he was unsure of what we were meant to do next, and so he whispered in my ear quickly, and I just told him, okay, we're going to do this in new reverses, and then I'll hit you with this instead. And it was fine, no problem. We had enough time to do that. We had enough time to use wrestling holds so that we can talk to each other in the ring, and the communication was perfect. I was really nervous that it could not be the situation. In terms of injuries, no big injuries. The only injuries we really had was landing, like 100 times, but that's going to happen anyway. And you only really feel that the next morning when you wake up, that you feel a bit sore. So yeah, at first I was worried about trusting people, and it doesn't matter how long you know someone. It's just a matter of sometimes making a mistake. I was worried in case I hurt him, and I guess he was worried that he would hurt me, but at the same time we worked well together. The important things that it was safe, spectacular, and we put on a great show and we entertained the audience. So it was all good in the end.
Thank you.